Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We're covering Love Island All-Stars UK Season 2, Week 4, Chris. Now, Chris, we start with a big cliffhanger. I usually ask you where
What's it?
you want to start. Yeah, massive. The ramifications were world-changing. Where would you like to start today?
First of all, Dave, don't ever fucking bring Ashley Peacock on this podcast ever again. Even Sam was like, that impression was terrible until you played the audio from the VHS podcast. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's good, that. I was like, no, it's not. Anyway, the Curtis off, Dave. So we did. Let's just move on from that very quickly. But
I would just like to speak for everyone when I say we would like to hear Ashley Peacock again on this podcast, I'm sure. And actually, you'll be able to hear him on the VHS Strikes Back on Wednesday, unless you're a patron, in which case you'll hear it tomorrow. But no, that Ashley Peacock. You know what? The first one wasn't that bad. It did sound more, George from Rainbow, but not Sesame Street, as I said on the episode. But
Sesame Street, yeah.
I think it was a great.
I didn't even correct you because I was like, I know you got that wrong, but I didn't correct you.
But anyway, Curtis was about to make his decision at the end of Friday night's episode, and
he picked Ekin-Su, Dave. And I think, look. At the end of the day, so we recorded Sunday, and it was Sunday evening we got the decision. But it did sort of contradict and make the play up to, it's all for the show, because the way Curtis was, he was like, he was never in doubt. And I'm like, I'm not even bothered. We knew you were going to pick Ekin-Su. She sits there shocked, but then also making sure she can see which camera she's looking in, going, sorry. I don't believe it. I can't believe you've picked me. What a load of nonsense. And then from there, though, Dave, Danielle's fate was pretty much sealed. We know we had fucking Chugsy Boy and Sammy come in, and Chugs, like, I've got to say, Ian Sterling was wank this week. His fucking jokes about, Chugs is going to buy something for his brand new yacht. And I'm like, Ian, the terrible jokes this week. There's been some bad ones about Chugs. That was his play this week. We had Ronnie the first week, and it was the same thing about him getting beat 6-1 or 6-0 or whatever it was. And then this has been Chugs about how he's loaded and everything. And then obviously Danielle, was there, and there's a possible play as well. But it was just one of them things all week where I was a bit, not pissed off him, I was just bored of him. However, they came in, Chugs and Sammy, went on a date. But they all know Sammy as well, don't they? Chugs looks like he's never seen anybody from Love Island since the day he left. But all the other, like Sammy's, you can just see she's part of that inner circle. And obviously Luca had something with her, a bit of a DM swapping, which then again sets up a bit of drama for this week, Dave. And I'll be honest with you, I've enjoyed every minute of the drama this week.
I mean, first thought, Chris, fucking Chugs. He was in there for about a day.
I know. It's fucking bullshit.
Fucking all-stars. Just the desperados. I'm convinced of it. But yeah, Sammy, I mean, it sounded like Luca had pinged her twice. And again, it just does my head in about this splinter of the franchise where it's all these fame-hungry fucking dead legs, where they're contacting each other on the outside anyway. And I don't know, as soon as it's announced who people are, and the Instagrams are put out there, then everyone's fucking talking with everyone else. I just want to start off that day one with people who have no idea who anyone else is and hasn't contacted them, or it's a massive deal, because maybe someone's a massive influencer and they kind of, they've pinged them, tried to drop into their DMs or whatever. But yeah, it's just so fucking incestuous. It does my head in that it just further removes that mystery about what people are actually, what people's personalities are versus, just wanting to get on TV. But it did provide the drama. I'm not going to say it wasn't interesting to watch how it all played out. Ended up being a bit of much ado about nothing, didn't it? Luca was obviously... I don't know where I sit on it exactly. I definitely think had Sammy come in earlier, and maybe at the same time as Grace, then things might have been different. Maybe Luca would have gone more Sammy's way. You could definitely tell there was an attraction there. But then he was almost cowering in the corner because Grace took it particularly badly, how that all went. And what I found interesting, I mean, I occasionally drop into the chat and stuff and see what some of the chatter is. So there's like different factions, people who are definitely on Grace's side, people who are definitely on Luca's side. And they're both bell ends. I think Luca's wishy-washy, is it okay if I kiss her, whatever. Almost dropped into Ashley there. But then I thought,
Ashley, Dave.
no, I can't touch your impression there. But I thought Grace's fucking attitude and the way she spoke to Luca again was also off. You've sort of lost the argument, whatever the argument is, where you're like, shut the fuck up. That's it. When you start, unless someone's giving it you in the same way, I just feel like you've lost a bit. So, yeah, I just feel like they were both bell ends. But, definitely here for it.
Yeah, well, and it's funny, Dev, I'm with you, because I think Luca, first week I said to you, like, he seems to be the only one who's actually slightly sensible. And then he just was like, hold my beer, and was just back to his normal bell end self. But I'm with you. I think the problem is knowing Grace, she's from Manchester, and the way she speaks is very familiar for me. So it's a regional thing with a dialogue. She's, they're talking, and then she knew there was a bit of something between them. She does think she's the main character. She's not the only one. They all do, obviously. And I'm not a big fan of it at all. You can just purely see that she's literally going to be going to the opening of a fucking Christmas card if it means that she'll get a picture somewhere. And you can see that they all do that. But you really can see that she is, be at any event, it's so obvious what's going on. She absolutely loves herself. That's fine. But the fellow Lucas said he wouldn't kiss her, and then thought, you know what, the boys, I think in his head he's thinking the boys are going to love this and she won't mind. He then kisses her and then gets this reaction where I'm like, well, it's your own fault, Luca, for being a dick. And I will say though, Dave, her tone of voice and everything is proper Mancunian, but it was completely out of order. I lost total, like, after the first couple of, like telling people to shut up and everything, it was like, you've got a really, really bad attitude. Like, you really do think that your shit don't stink. You know what I mean? She absolutely fucking loves herself. And it was like, he was wrong. He asked you and said he wouldn't. And she said, obviously not Sammy. And he did it anyway because he was trying to be a smart ass. Then he gets the reaction and then he's playing the victim, then going, I don't know what's going on. He walks off. Yeah. And then to be fair, Omar called it straight away. He was like, he basically said, you're just being rude. And then she tells Omar to shut up and stuff. And I'm like, Grace, you've got really, really bad attitude. When she hears something that she doesn't like, or when she's been called out, she acts like a child. And I know she's only young, but she acts like a right spoiled brat. I'm not a fan one bit. And I think, as you said, and there's different people in the chat like saying like it was a disgrace the way she spoke to him. It was. There's no way of going about it. But also, why did Luca prod the bear? Why did he decide I'm going to do it anyway? What reaction was he expecting? I just, because there is a big boys club, and I keep saying it every week. We watched the extras last night again. And it's a completely different show, different villa. Whenever you watch this, I say it every week, this is just pure acting. And everything about this was just nonsense. In the end, I don't think anybody felt sorry for her because of the way she delivered all that. She was quite right for once to say to him, you fucking wanker, blah, 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 you're a bellend, out of order. And then when she was talking to him, it sort of made sense. But after that, I just lost it. Then I was like, oh, you have gone proper Mancunian. You're being a spoilt brat. As you said, Dave, both you go in the corner, don't speak to anybody because we don't want to see what bullshit you're peddling to us, because they were both in the wrong there. I agree. Just that she come out of it worse, I felt, at the end, because she just wouldn't let it go because she was so angry. She had to sort of calm her temper, and she just couldn't let that go.
Yeah, like you say, without the Luca stuff, that doesn't happen. But unfortunately, when you start speaking to people like, and not just the person who you're annoyed with, just everyone around you, you start speaking like that, you've sort of lost. But yeah, I don't know why Luca would do it. I still feel like he's hyper aware of the cameras all the time. They say sometimes, Curtis is like, oh yeah, you forget the cameras are there and whatever. I don't believe. I think he's always conscious about how he's coming across, and I think sometimes it's just really difficult to keep up that act 100% of the time. So occasionally it'll slip, but after that, he was just. I kind of felt sorry a bit for Sammy in the end because, she didn't really do anything wrong. I did have to laugh, though, because after that whole drama, you had the couple choosing who Chugs and Sammy would go with. And, of course, the public chose for Sammy to pair up with or to couple up with Luca. And Sammy's off. She's like, well, the public must be seeing something. I'm thinking, no. We're all just a bunch of bastards. We want to see the drama. So couple up, damn it.
I did like when it kicked off, though, because I've got to talk about Casey a lot at the end, but Casey went, so spin the bottle tomorrow then, everyone, as they were all going to sleep. And it was like, oh, sure you dick. That's the sort of smart-ass comment. You always have that one friend who's like, oh, I'm up for a fucking shit stir here. And he was funny at that point because I was like, yeah, I like that because fucking they were all sleeping separately at that point, weren't they, Luca, Grace? It's the drama that Grace wanted, she got. And I was a bit surprised by Luca, though. He knew he'd done wrong, and he did do wrong. There's no two ways about it. But he literally just had him in the palm of a hand then. He was her lapdog, wasn't he? That was it then. He was nothing he could do. Yeah. He just completely capitulated. So it was good. But however, Dave, we have missed a couple of things, but this was sort of midweek, was the fucking heart rate challenge. We've got to talk about it, Dave, because this sets up another argument that happened after this. But we get, obviously, the girls go first. And again, some of the girls are in the 30s, aren't they? I know it's all for a bit of fun, but I'm just like, and the guys, I'm like, I don't know. Even every time I watch it now, I'm like, yeah, there's some really good looking people on there, no doubt about it. But he's just like, right, okay, we've seen this before. However, Dave, Curtis, his fucking dance is legendary. So first of all, we get Ekin-Su literally fucking dry humping Curtis, don't we? And she's dry humping everyone else. She kisses Sammy.
I swear it gets worse.
Yeah.
It's very X-rated, I felt like. It was more so. And honestly, this fucking heart rate challenge, I can't be arsed with it, to be honest, Chris. It's just... The kind of build up to it, I'm only really interested in the drama that spurns out of it. But then even now, I'm like, oh god, it's just ridiculous because, your heartbeat went up more for someone else than it did for me. And I hate the pettiness of it. But sorry, I cut across you there. So go on.
No, I'm with you. I'm the same. I was like, I don't understand where, like, why or where this is still, even in the All-Stars thing, they've got rid of Casa Amor, and you're right, it was like we were in some strip shows, male and female, and they only showed certain bits, but Ekin-Su, fucking hell, Dave, she was dry humping everyone once, not just Curtis, I got that wrong, it was everyone, but when she put the lips on Sammy, and then lied, and Elma's face was like, she just kissed him, and you were like, oh, this is going to be good, this is going to create a few problems, because she literally went for it. And then Elma says it to Ekin-Su, obviously, as the guys are getting changed and they swap over, and she's like, I don't think so. Maybe a peck. And I'm thinking, Ekin, you should have just said, yeah, sorry, I got a bit carried away. It was just part of the act. Because there was nothing in it, but that set up the whole week. However, Dave, watching the extras show last night, Curtis's dance was all over the villa that we didn't see in the main show. And it's fucking glorious. He did it in the first time he was on, in season 5 with Tommy Fury, and it was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I love that meme of him. He's got the full peacock fucking big boa thing. Yeah, fucking brilliant. And he did it again, didn't he? And he was just going for it. I mean, he even turned her upside down in what some people would call a 69, everybody. But he absolutely just went for it, didn't he, with all the girls? It was funny though, wasn't it? And he won. And every girl, bar a couple's heart rate was up by Curtis. But I think you've touched on something. I know I'm waffling a lot, is they got rid of the lie detector test, but really this is the lie detector test now, isn't it? Because how do we know any of this is accurate? Do you know what I mean? Like,
fucking bullshit.
Of course it is. It's like you're manipulating stories, aren't you? I mean, and Gabby sees her ass then because Casey's not thinking. I'm like, but we didn't really see Gabby's dance, to be honest. But we saw, yeah, but it was like, yeah. But it was one of them where you're like, well, it's a game, innit? It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But everyone sees more into it. And then she's the oldest girl and she's getting the most threatened and upset, isn't she? Maybe it is because she's older. She's like, I wanted it to be me. And I'm like, it's a fucking game. It's not like he's had like, I know, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. I'm not even going to say it because I'll say something about, I was going to say about people stood in front of Casey and getting excited, but we're not going to go down that route, Dave. But you know what I mean? Then there'd be a problem, but that's a completely different show and a different search engine. So let's just move it on, Dave. Move it on. What are your thoughts on that?
No, it is utter nonsense, and I don't believe this is Chris. This is as scientific as maths, selection process. This is the science behind it, and it is just nonsense. And I can't really buy it. I can't buy that it's authentic drama because, again, even the Elma thing with did she kiss Sammy? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, everyone's kissing everyone at some point. Yeah, you got the fucking snogging challenge where you're rating people out of 10. It's like, for me, either say the games are off limits, in which case everyone fucking kisses everyone else and that's okay. If you kiss outside a challenge, that's a different thing. That seems to be the convention. But then there seems to be this nuance now where it's like, oh, now that's not okay. And actually, I didn't say about the fucking spin the bottle. I'm just glad Scott has already gone, because we were saying, weren't we, about how ridiculous it is to have people who are on the older side, you know, playing these ridiculous games. And I don't know, have I just had a mental block? Do they do that spin the bottle thing before? Because I think if you're older than fucking 15 and you're playing spin the bottle, you need to have a word with yourself. So I just think utterly ridiculous. But yeah, Gabby, I just thought that was a nonsense, and I couldn't tell. She comes across like quite an authentic way usually. But the thing with Casey, you know, having his heart beating faster for someone else, it's like, are you sort of just trying to artificially stir up drama? Is that what you actually think? I don't think either of the, you know, whichever the answer is, I don't think it's a good look. So yeah, I liked a lot of the drama this week, but that wasn't part of it.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. However, Dave, and I'm really interested in this one because I know we haven't spoke about this because I was poorly this week. I was down, Dave, with illness. So much so that I was down literally at one point. I did actually faint. There was an illness going around locally, so that wasn't the best. But I did think that when I was, you know, feeling sorry for myself, Dave, sat there having my Lucozade and my soup and everything, and, you know, being fed grapes and stuff, and none of that happened, Dave. I just sat at my home watching TV all day. But that seed was planted then for Elma, wasn't it, with Ekin-Su, and we got the snog Mary Pie, and Sammy pied Ekin-Su, and he just, you know, just being, you know, even though he knew he was right, he said that, I stand by what I did. He just seen if she was okay. Well, Elma, don't think it with her. She's a snake. She's this, she's that. She storms off, doesn't she? Then Ekin's like, what's going on here? So then we get Curtis. As I heard, can I have a word with you, please? And then he sits there going, what I don't like about Curtis, Dave, as a guy, and it might be because like he's in that circle where he works with a lot of like ladies and that, I don't know, but he calls everyone condescendingly darling, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? When he calls, I don't know whether
darling.
On that. Can we have a word, please, darling? And then I think Elma said something to him, which was like derogatory, and they not derogatory, but you know the way they speak, and it was wrong. But they were having like someone put it on. Oh, there's someone called Babe. She calls him Babe. So someone put on Twitter, which I thought was funny. He goes, the main highlight I got out of the Curtis and Elma conversation stroke argument was the fact that it was a babe stroke. What did I just say? Babe stroke, darling. Babe stroke again. Another search engine, Dave. I don't know anything about that, but yeah, it was like a babe v darling off because I thought Curtis was right, and then Elma went into full on the Micro Machines guy, and she's talking, don't you speaking over me, don't you want to get a word in? And I'm like, fuck me. And I'm no fan of Curtis, but I was like, come on. I mean, Ekin-Su could have stuck up for himself, but he sort of inserted himself. And I think Sammy even was on it. But I feel with Elma, she's been a right bellend even more. That this confidence has come into once they said that her and Luca were the top 2 male and female contestants. That has just been, she thinks she is the fucking queen bee now, and it's all about her, doesn't she? And the real nasty sides come out, not just in this exchange, in a few other things where she does think she's the main character even more than Grace, I think.
Yeah, I think she's almost. I can't. Is it Kat or someone in EastEnders? We always see that meme where she's looking out the window and then she's ripping down the curtains and stuff. She's all angry and pissed off. I just kept thinking of that because a kind of London accent comes out more, or Essex is it she's from, comes out more and more when she's angry. And honestly, Chris, I don't even fucking remember her from season 5. Again, another so-called all-star
special.
Yeah, but you're right. Since they've had the whole top girl and boy thing, it does seem to have gone to a head. And I just felt the whole Ekin-Su thing. Now, again, I'm not really going to defend Ekin-Su because I can't trust that those tears were authentic. If I was a betting man, I'd even say they weren't. But let's entertain the idea for a second that she might have just been upset with that. But what was Elma's reason to say to Sammy, don't apologize, and she's still got a bug up her ass about fucking Ekin-Su kissing Sammy in the challenge. And it's like, but why? You're on fucking Love Island. You're not boyfriend and girlfriend. What's your fucking problem? So, and Curtis going over there, like Bertie Big Bollocks, like he's going to smooth it over. I must admit, as they were walking over, I was like, oh yeah, this is not going to go the way you think it is. You think you're the master diplomat, and I don't think this is going to go this way. So yeah, it was the babe versus fucking darling off. It was interesting, but I did come away from it thinking, oh fucking hell, Elma, you need to go. You've got too big for your britches at the moment, and she does think she's top dog in the villa.
Yeah, she does, and I think that you're right. Like, it was a nothing situation, wasn't it? But it just put her off, and she was like, "We'll speak tomorrow, babe. We'll speak tomorrow, babe." And I'm like, right. And even Curtis at the end's like, "But you're being unreasonable. You're being childish." Like he was right. Like I say, Curtis is Curtis, and he's absolutely blackguard. But I'm like, right, all right, fair enough. So that sort of ended the week as a whole. However, having watched the extras again, fucking Casey and Ronnie are having the time of their life, Dave, especially Casey. He is on the best fucking holiday he's ever been on. He is taking the piss. He's just absolutely just jumping in front of fucking people, scaring the shit out of people, jumping in the pool, soaking on people sunbathing. You've got that dick who does a bomb and soaks everyone when they're sunbathing. That's him, Dave. He's jumping on the beds. Him and Ronnie were doing some stupid game where he's trying to get his cap on his head as he's like catwalking. Really silly, stupid things you do with your mate, and that he's just dicking around all day long. But again, and I've never been a fan of his. It's like him and Ronnie are just taking the mick. I mean, they're shouting stuff out all the time, like dead loud, like just being so annoying. And it's like, I can imagine being in there. Harriet's the one they seem to target a lot. She proper bites, and they're just fucking about, like winding her up. But it's like, this is what they should show. Show real things going on. Like, someone tripped over I think it was Elma fell over, and it was like, well, it doesn't hurt, but one of them, like, in a bikini, she's got her heels on, and she falls by the pool and all this, like, just little things like comedy stuff, and they're all together dicking around, like jumping out on people and everything. Why can't they show a bit more of that? Because this, like, character that they're playing, it's just, honestly, he's literally night and day. It's like us going to work. I suppose it's because it's their job. It's like us going to work. Everyone goes to work and plays a character, whether you like it or not. If your boss is a complete fucking bellend, you've got to toe the line. When you know full well, if you met that person in the pub or in any situation and they were talking to you like that, you'd be like, why don't you just go and fuck off, be bellend or whatever. you would never tolerate it, but we all have to play that character because of, you know, your mortgage, your family. You know that, unfortunately, with work, it's very rare you can work somewhere where you can be your true self. And this is like that. So when you come in, you had a bad day, you come in and you go, King, my boss is a tosspot. You know, me and Sam are talking about work or whatever. We go for a walk and usually dissect the day and have like a 20-minute walk and just chat about everything. But if it's had a bad day, we talk it out or whatever. And then you're in there and you're just your normal self when you're at home. You're like, I don't give a fuck about this. And that's what it's like. It's unbelievable. I can't express it enough. And I'm not a promoter of like having to watch Love Island for 7 days a week, because that's the last thing I promote anyway. Yeah, exactly. but it's just, even 10 minutes of watching it, you'd be like, why don't they show some of this in the proper show? You know, like just show them being natural, like friends would do on holiday. And yeah, you're going to have conflict. It happens. I'll go away with family enough. I know what that's like. Jesus, there's always someone kicking off with somebody. But it's like, just let that breathe and let that be a bit more organic than this absolute fake bollocks that we're seeing more and more now, especially with the All-Stars. Because none of them are All-Stars. It's an absolute farce. They're fucking Temu, fucking Wish version of the Love Island All-Stars. Every single one of them. I mean, Chugs has got to be the least fucking known contestant. And I tell you who else is going in there, Dave. Fucking Jess from last series from Stockport. She was a bellend. She's going in this week. You were supposed to be Lucinda. She gets to South Africa.
Spoiler alert.
Around on the plane. Spoiler alert. It's Jess, apparently. And I'm like, she was so fucking annoying, wasn't she? We've already got Ronnie in there and fucking Harriet. Might as well just bring that whole series back in.
Am I remembering the right one? I thought Jess was the one. Was she not the one who ended up with Joey Essex?
No, Jess, the brown-haired girl from Stockport. She's a fucking gobshite. Know it all.
Oh, I think I remember who you mean. Not really, but
I know people who know her. But yeah, she was a gobshite in Love Island. Anyway, just agree with me, Dave.
I actually do. Yeah, really. Yeah, got a lot to say. I remember you now. Yeah. So really high cheekbones and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I guess the editors and the producers think that, you know, what viewers of main Love Island want to see is the relationships, but mostly the drama. So I guess all of the fun stuff, all of the lighter things just get missed out, and then they chuck those into the unseen bits. I don't know. I'm going to get a bit abstract, actually, Chris, and talk about Lethal Weapon.
One of my favourite films, Dave. Yes.
So obviously, you know, every week we're talking about some fucking VHS film or something like that. But quite often what we see in the sequels, and the top one that comes to mind is Lethal Weapon. And you see the first movie, and it comes out, and there's all this nuance and this texture to it about the characters and the story and the world that they occupy. But then when you get to the sequel, it's as if they've, you know, canvassed the opinion of the general public and said, right, well, these are the 5 things that people like most about this movie. And then in the sequel, they accentuate those 5 things. And then all of the other things, all of the other texture that was in there is dropped away. And I kind of feel like that maybe with the editing choices that they're making in Love Island. It's like, oh, well, that's a bit of fun, isn't it? But it doesn't hit our top 3 criteria for what needs to go into an episode. It needs to be either driving the plot forward for, you know, a relationship or a bit of conflict, or it is a lovey-dovey thing, it's hunt the slipper, or it's it's an argument and drama or whatever. Everything else gets chucked to the unseen bits.
Yeah, and then you're right, and I know that, and I say it, I'm probably like a broken record because I always say this all the time, don't I? Like I'm a proper champion for the extra bits, but yeah, just to make him feel a bit more normal, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like it's so incestuous, Love Island, isn't it? Like they have to go out with each other. No one else understands what being in Love Island is about. So they all have that in common. They all know what they've got to do to toe the line. That's why when you get the normal Love Island, yes, people are friends of other people. Like Ronnie was friends with Olivia Atwood and stuff. And obviously she was like one of the OGs from series 3. And it's like, I get it. I understand it's lucrative. There's a career. You've got talent agencies, people working together. They all know each other, everything. I get it. I totally get it. We call it out all the time. We know it's bullshit. We know it's fake. I feel with the normal Love Island, we do still get that naivety of some of the characters. Yes, some of them are coming in now more polished. Like Olivia, she's gone again. But when she came in, because of this like so-called acting career she had, which... we'll just skate over that because Vin Diesel's never used as a replacement Michelle Rodriguez in the Fast and Furious. But because there was something there, and then seeing some of the contestants we've seen over the last few years who were then used in series before as like for the intro videos where they drop the fucking pen in the office and rip the shirt off, and there's a girl like going, "Oh my god!" and like Olivia was one of them girls, wasn't she? And all that crap. You know what they do, don't they? The guy's fucking he's a lifeguard and he's swimming or something, and he just fucking gets out the pool and does a runner, and the girls sunbathing are like, "Oh my god, I'm doing it." I don't know. I'm actually doing all the actions like you can see me, and it makes a difference what I'm saying. But you get what I'm saying. They're all in there and asked to go on. Some have been asked to go on, so I get that. But with this, like. I'll be amazed if anybody, and I'm saying this out loud, knowing that you're just going to go, well, yeah, that's standard. He's just going to stay together within a month of this film. Not 6 months, not fucking the OK magazine. There is not one couple I think's really compatible in this show at all. Full stop. Sammy and Elma is just purely going to be something that they'll use on Towie as a device if they get that far. And the fact that he won it is unbelievable when he did win it. So whether they win it, that would be... Yeah, that would create a monster with them too, I think. But I just can't see anybody surviving. Not at all.
I mean, you've got Ronnie and Harriet, haven't you? They've kind of had a bit of a quieter week. I still definitely do think that there's a showmance to that. And just because they've been outside of the drama and they've almost been pushed together by other people saying they're not the most compatible couple or something like that. They're the least compatible, aren't they? But I still don't buy them. I still don't like the way he talks to her when things don't go his way. So I think if I was to place a bet on any of these couples lasting it the longest, it might be them, or I see flying under the radar there. I think they don't get that much screen time, but Catherine and Omar, they had a little bit of a wobble. I kind of feel like Omar hasn't really done anything wrong, but apparently with the whole Snog, Marry, Pie thing, I think he made some wrong choice, which I thought Catherine made a lot about nothing, to be honest. But I think they could make it a little bit farther. Now, we're talking in, the half-life is about 3 months, I would say. In terms of the relationship. So I'm not talking, for the long term, none of them. But I think those two couples might make it past month one at least.
And you could be right. I mean, watching the extras, they were cuddling each other and everything, which you don't see on the show, like they are affectionate. So maybe, let's hope they are, to be honest. But again, I mean, we're going into the last week and we were saying this. The show finishes on the 17th of Feb. So next Sunday, we won't do a show. We'll do a show on the Tuesday, which will be like the 16th, the 19th, because it'll all have ended. I mean, there's no point in doing like a show a day after for the final. So I am saying this though, Dave, buckle up, my friend, because there'll be a few people leaving, but we're going to get the full-on loving bullshit. However, having Jess go in this week, and maybe someone else, is quite interesting because usually the last week's off limits, but with it being a smaller condensed show, possibly we might get a little bit of drama, but I don't know who she's going to go in for, to be honest, because I can't see anybody really turning for her.
No, I mean, it's really hard for the bombshells that come in late on a regular season, isn't it? But especially this one, where they all bloody know each other anyway. The only thing that could happen is someone comes in and they've already had contact on the outside. They've already been DMing each other or something like that. Curtis is always good for a swing, isn't he? He's always good for like, oh yeah, I'm definitely with Amy, or I'm definitely with Ekin. Oh no, suddenly I've just changed my mind. I'm definitely for someone else. So yeah, it could be a possibility. I think Luca and Grace, after that wobble, he's just cowering in the corner in the doghouse, so he won't entertain anything with anyone. So yeah, I think it'll just be riding out for this last week, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So anything else, Dave, before we ride off into the sunset and I think about the life choices, watching another 8 episodes of Love Island before we talk about it again?
To be honest, like I say, it's on the downhill slope now. I don't remember from last year. The baby game hasn't been around for a few seasons now, has it? So I don't think we'll see that. Did we get on the All-Stars? Did we get stuff like Meet the Parents? I don't think we did we?
No, I don't think we did. No.
Yeah,
There's none of that.
I wonder what they'll have the final dates. So coming up to Thursday, Friday, it'll probably be that. I'm just trying to think what they might fill the episodes with. But looking forward to seeing out this season, Chris. And then when we're getting towards the end of February, and I know people are chomping at the bit and we sort of are as well, but also we know our limits. So trying to stay away from any spoilers or anything for Maths Australia. But I'm trying to stay away from spoilers, but all I keep seeing everywhere in various channels on our group chat, on social media and whatever is about shitty men being arseholes and wanting women that are out of their league or whatever. So I think it's going to not disappoint, this one.
No, and I can't wait. I cannot wait for Maths, Dave. That is the one. That is the pinnacle for me. And it might be an absolute disaster, and I hope it is. But yeah, as soon as we've done Love Island, we're straight on to Maths. So I can't wait for that. Brilliant, brilliant stuff, mate. But no, thank you again, mate. Been good this week. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for all the support as always, and some great chat, honestly, on Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. Come and join us over there. The Facebook chat function is brilliant. You meet loads of people who are talking about the shows. There's spoilers in there, so just bear that in mind. But everyone's just frustrated with someone. There's been some really good chat this week about the Grace and Luca situation, and like you said earlier, Dave, like it's been good because people on both sides of the fence, and I think like that's the whole point. And it's all done in a like constructive. There's nobody gets at anybody. We're all just love these absolute bellends on reality TV. So that's what I like about that. We haven't just talked it all out, which is good. So please get over there if you want to come and join us. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. And if you do support us, please get over to patreon.com/cdrealitycast. So the roll call of honor and a big thank you to Anna, Tilly, Marcy, Stacey, Sinead, Kathleen Sims, Andrea, Nick, Danielle, Kim, Amanda, Larissa, Helen, Nicola, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Joanna, Libby, Susan, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys. Every single person who's supported us, past and present, we really, really do appreciate it.
No, that is fantastic. And like I say, let's see out this final week. But yeah, just to echo what you're saying there, it hadn't really occurred to me, but it's kind of refreshing in our little group that we have here that people can express their different opinions and, have debates about it without fucking getting at each other's throats, which you need a bit more of in this world today, I feel like. But off my soapbox. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our supporters. Thanks to all our listeners. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.